Happy Sunday! All right, welcome to week 11. It's week 11 of the Bead Stash Challenge. I'm Paula Montgomery from Desert Cat Creations, and I'm your host for today. Today we are going to draw cards to see what we're going to make this week. And I'm going to make some funky earrings, just playing around a little bit on Sunday, okay? So you may have seen on my desktop when I was showing it that my bunnies are multiplying. So just a reminder, Easter's coming up soon. If you haven't had bunny kits or you want to get more bunnies, because you know bunnies multiply and then they disappear and then they multiply, you have to get more bunnies, right? I do have them for sale, so you can get our traditional kit, which is a mama, papa, and baby bunny. So those 3 bunnies are $20. You get written instructions, and I am working to update the pictures because I realize my old instructions are not quite accurate with these kits. And we also have our limited edition Copper Bunny kits, which is just 2 bunnies, but it's $15. So when we flip them over, I'll give you another look at them. The colors may vary if you order the 3 bunny set, because the ones I'm showing you are our original ones, and the colors, I offered some newer colors and different colors last year, so you know, they'll still coordinate though. So anyways, those are there. Hope you all had a great weekend. We had fun making, I'm wearing the funky necklace that we made, funky lariat necklace that we made. Also wearing my shamrock today, since I won't see you again until after St. Patty's Day. Just remember, everyone's Irish on Tuesday. I love corned beef, so I already bought my corned beef. I'm looking forward to having that. I don't eat it with cabbage as such. Well, I do have sauerkraut with it, so I'm not the corned beef and cabbage. I'm the make it into a Reuben sandwich kind of person, but I may have you know, Brussels sprouts on the side, which is a cabbage, right? So anyways, that'll be my fun for this week. We will be on a regular time on Thursday, and we'll find out in a moment what we'll be making. So, all right, let me flip the camera over, and let's see what we've got to look at here. So, all right, so just a reminder, our new Copper Bunny kits, you will get a small bunny, which will have goldish, copperish ears, copperish face. Now I'm changed these up in the kits. You get like a mixture of white and copper, and you can apply them however you wish. And I did the same on this is actually a medium bunny. So this one has the mixed colors on his legs and on all 4 of his legs, right? So that's our Copper Bunny kit. So our original kit, remember, had 3 bunnies. My bunnies I think my bunnies got crushed. So you will get a giant bunny. So the original kits, this should have been clear, but had sort of a gold bunny, and it would be clear. I do have a set of all gold bunnies if you want to order that, so let me know. And then there was a blue bunny and a little tiny green bunny. So last year I added the purple bunny. So if you order a kit now, chances are your big bunny is going to be purple. If you have a specific color you were interested in, let me know, because I do have, I can do black ears and legs if you like that. I can do purple in the small one as well, I believe, and in blue, I think. And then I can do blue in all 3 sizes, and gold in all 3 sizes, I think. So anyways, if you order the kit, you will get a mixture of my selection. And I really do need, he definitely got crushed. Need to fix that bunny. But yeah, you will get a selection of my choice. And again, those the kits, the three bunny kit is $20. The special limited edition kit is $15. I only have 8 of those available because I've already sold a couple. The other one I have quite a few of. Okay, so all right, let's see what we're gonna make this week, and then we'll get ready to make a project. So if you're new, Bead Stash Challenge is a set of cards. Actually, I have 5 different decks of cards, but you would start with deck 1. And there's 3 different types of cards. First ones are make cards. So these help us decide what to make. So if you're overwhelmed, you know, because you just got an order of beads and a pile of beads, or you bought a monthly bead kit and it came and you just don't really know where to start, the make cards can help you get started. I have all 5 of the decks mixed in together. Not all of them come with make cards. So we have the deck 1, which is basic, works with those bead mixes, works with most anything. It's very general. And then we have the color deck, which adds a bunch of things color related, in case you're one of those people that does everything in the same color all the time, which I would be one of those people. There's the non-jewelry and findings kit. So that one helps you make some non-jewelry items. So think of our bunnies, think of a keychain, think of, you know, a couple weeks ago we made a bracelet helper. So all those things are non-jewelry items. You might also be making your own findings. And it helps you use a lot of your findings that you have. Okay. Then we have 2 theme decks. We have the Sun and Sea deck, which is all things summer and vacation and beach related. And we have our Desert Southwest deck, which is all things kind of Southwesty, the culture, the landscape, all of that stuff rolled into a deck to help us inspire our designs. Okay. So let's see what we're going to make this week. We are going to make a wine glass or bottle marker. Okay. We will work on that. All right. So the second type of cards we have is our used cards. So these tell us what we're going to pull out of our stash. Now I recently shuffled these decks, or you know, had to start over on these decks. So that's why there's so many cards here. Now, if you want to shuffle all your cards together, feel free. If you don't want to, feel free. There are not, like I said, make, use, and challenge cards in all 3 decks, on all the decks, but you know, you can keep them separate, whatever works for you. All right, so I draw 3 used cards. You can draw 1, you can draw 5, whatever works for you. So we're going to use wire in our design. All right. We are going to use black. And we are going to use teal or turquoise in our design. All right. So those of you that know me, see I have to use the color deck because otherwise everything I make would be teal and turquoise, except when I'm making it for others, and then it's most likely purple because it seems like everybody I know loves purple. Okay. All right, so our last type of cards here is our challenge cards, and these add a little extra to our design by either adding a design aspect that we need to add in, or a theme. And these were recently flipped over as well, so this is almost the full thing from all 5 decks. And we are going to design something inspired by a sunset. All right. So let's put those back. And so on Thursday, I will be making a wine glass or bottle marker. I will be using wire. I will be using black. I will be using teal or turquoise. And my design will be inspired by sunset, okay? So, that's what will happen on Thursday at noon Pacific time, because remember, we don't go on daylight savings here, so we're a little off from you guys. So. All right, I thought I would just play around. You know, within the last few weeks, we made our shamrocks, and we made a bracelet to go with our shamrocks necklace. I made this one last year, I think. So, so I had a little bag of green beads. It was a freebie, or, you know, just like a mix of beads that I got from somebody at some point. Right. So I've pulled out a few spacers and some green beads. So one of the things it came with is these like green spikes. And that's why what we're going to make, it's going to be a little funky. So I was messing around with this one, doing some, a little bit of wire wrapping, adding a little design to it. So I think we'll do that. So when you're working with these spike kind of things, you know, you have to figure out how to work it in, unless you're just, you know, hanging this on a necklace, which you could. But this little bag of beads I had only came with 2. So I'd either have to just put one on there or multiples, right? So, all right. So let's put a little design on this other one. So I think I used about like 5.5 inches of wire. I'm going to use 22 gauge wire just because it's nice and bendy, easy to work with. All right, so it's nice and soft. I don't think I'll need my ruler, but I'll keep it out. All right, and then what I want to do is make a little swirl. So I'm going to take my round pliers, and I am just going to make a circle. Now I don't have to connect that loop, but in order to keep it outside of, so now I want to make a spiral. So the easiest thing is, once you have this loop, is to grab it with flat nose, or you could use a chain nose, and then I'm just going to gently move my pliers, bend the wire around the outside. Right. And I'm just going to keep doing that until my spiral is the size that I want it. Now I want it to be the same size as this other spiral, so let me see how many times around did I go. 1, 2, 3. Right. So it looks like I need to finish coming around there. All right. So I have that spiral now. So once I get back to where that first edge is, I'm just going to bend my wire so it's straight up. So this is an example of a fancy head pin you could make. You could use this as a head pin, but in this case we're not. So the other thing I want to look at on here, so I made the spiral going one direction, so I think I want the spiral to go the opposite, because I like my kind of like my earrings to be mirrored. So all right, so now I'm going to stick my wire through the hole, and then I'm going to bend this flat so that it's, you know, you end up with a bend that goes through the hole, and your wire, your little spiral is there, okay? And now I can just bend up from the back. So bend straight up. I am going to make that wire come over so it's even with the top there. And I am going to make a loop here. So I'm going to bend it off. I'm not really worried about which direction my loop is going because I can turn it. Right? So what I've got right now is I have my little spiral there of it going through the bead, up the back, and then I've got a loop here. And then I am just going to wrap that around there a couple of times. Now when I finish, I want it to come to the front. And now to secure this, what I'm going to do is bring that down, and I'm going to tuck it underneath my spiral. So see, I've got that attached on there. And then I'm going to just come up, and I'm going to wrap it around here. All right. Now you just got to make sure you get more than once around, right? You don't have to use up the wire. So I didn't really need all that wire, but it's there now. So, all right. So now I'm just gonna straighten my loop in the direction I want, and I'm gonna tuck these wires on. Hey Janelda. Well, we drew cards, and now we're making some funky earrings. Hello, Dominique. You're new. Where are you coming in from? At least you're new to me, right? So like I said, we're making some funky earrings with just some beads I had sitting around. So my lower part of my earrings, I put a little spiral on these green spikes. Now, you know, that is actually enough for earrings, right? I could just dangle those. But, you know, we're going to think about making them a little more funky than that. I meant to dig out my ear wires, so we may have to make ear wires because I forgot to get them out. All right, it's all right. Okay, so what I was thinking is just making something with these. I got some beads here. I've got some copper spacers in 3 different sizes. These spacers are so fun to have in different sizes. You can do everything from making it look like a bead if you use a bunch of them together to, you know, you can flatten them if you need to. I got those from Stars Beads at some point in time, but all right. Doesn't really matter, but I'm gonna switch to 20 gauge just because I want something a little thicker going through my beads. Okay, so, and it's easier to show you. So what I'm thinking is of you know, just making something with sort of stacking things. So we've got our spacer, and then I was thinking I would just take these beads and stack them. And I think when I was playing around with it, what I ended up doing was kind of just putting these in, you know, from large to small. So I'm not ending up using everything. What do you think? Is that kind of a fun link? And by going large to small, and then your spike goes large to small. I don't know. We're gonna try it and see. Hey, Marianica. All right, so I'm making a loop that'll hook to the ear wire. So I'm just making a wrapped loop here. And of course, the pliers I'm looking for are the ones in my hand, aren't they? So I like it. You grab a different pair. I like to use these short flat nose pliers to pull these ends around so I can tuck it in. All right. Now, you may find it's easier for you to work with, you know, different pliers than me. There isn't really a right or wrong answer. It's whatever is comfortable and works best for you, right? Sometimes it depends on what kind of wire you're using. All right, so there we've got this guy. Now, since I've got it going down, that makes it a little bit of an adventure for, since I didn't flatten it, for getting our wrap in there. So I'm going to do a tight wrap. Now, I also didn't plan this out very well. I should have done it the other direction. So we'll do that on the next one, because I think what I have to do, I have to connect it to my other part, okay? So let's see what it's kind of funky, but hey, you know what? It can be fun, right? All right, so I am going to hold on to this loop, and we're going to carefully wrap this around. And, you know, I'm going to tuck as I go, because I have to tuck it down in there. All right, let's. All right, and be careful to not tuck or cut. I think I almost cut my yeah, we're going funky today, right? All right, so I'm going to use these needle nose pliers, tuck that in. What do you guys think? Is that a fun, funky earring? It's pretty long. We'll make the other one, and then we'll put some ear wires on them. All right, so that one, you know, I had a little trouble with that tuck there. So what I need to do is do the other side. So I need to put my beads on here going the opposite direction, because we want to attach it to the earring first, or to the dangle. Having a hard time looking at these backwards, but okay. So we got our beads on backwards. Now we can make that loop and hook it on here. And what this allows us to do by doing it this direction is, you know, I have this nice open space for wrapping my wire. Which is bending on me, but it's all right. Sometimes you just have to be gentle and nudge it into place, right? There. All right. All right. So there, we were able to get that bottom part on there and just slide it down. And now we can just do our loop up here, which is easy to access. And I can even use my spool to wrap that. And there we go. And now I can just tuck that in, which was much easier than trying to do that tuck at the bottom. All right, now I just have to make sure that my rings are going the direction I want them to. All right, so see what these look like. See, aren't those kind of funky? As in, you know, sometimes you get some beads that you don't quite know what you want to do with, but you want to do something. All right, so let's make some quick ear wires. Straighten this wire a little. All right, so I'm just gonna make some plain ear wires. And when you do this with copper, you do not want to make ear wires with raw copper, because you cannot guarantee that it doesn't have nickel in it, and there are a lot of people that will react to that. Okay, so I recommend, if you're going to make copper ear wires, that you use something like Softlex craft wire instead of the raw, again, not the raw copper, but the craft wire, because it is lead and nickel free, so most people won't react to it. A lot of times I use niobium when and it's anodized so that it looks kind of like copper or brown color. I use those because they're hypoallergenic for most people. You can usually get them. There's several vendors on, you know, like Etsy and various places that sell those. think Fire Mountain still has them. I haven't bought from Fire Mountain in many, many years, so I couldn't tell you for sure. All right, so I'm just straightening out the ends of the wires here, which doesn't really matter because that's probably the end I'm going to make the loop. But all right, so I took 3.5 inches of wire. I am going to use my little knife sharpener thing on these ends so they don't have little burrs or pokey things sticking out of them when it goes through your ear, you know. You could use file or they sell little burr things that you can use. All right, and then I'm going to take my 6-step looper. I'm going to line those 2 wires up, and I'm going to make these together. Okay, so I'm making the small loop that I'm going to attach the earring to. All right, and then I like a big loop. So I am going to stick those between the 2 largest ones. And I want that loop going the same direction. Now the opening for the loop on the bottom, I want facing the back of the ear wire. So it's the direction that you're gonna make your loop. And I'm just pulling these around. And voila. Although I actually prefer to bend that a little bit. All right, and I put a little bend in the back, so in theory it'll stay in your ear. Now this wire is pretty soft, so you definitely want to do something to harden it a little so it'll hold its shape. So one thing you can do is take your flat nose pliers and you just squeeze really hard, although I say really hard if you're one of those people that has, you know, a super grip strength. You don't want to get marks all over your wire, but this helps. You can use a hammer, which is what I normally do, and I am making marks on these. Now, the good thing is, though, they'll be in my ear, but, you know, if you're selling them, people might get upset, so sometimes the hammering is better for making a nice smooth. All right, so we got ear wires. So remember, when you're opening these, you want to go to the side and then make sure your earring is hanging the right direction before you close it. So you want the front facing the front, right? Then when I close it, I take this and I gently bend it back and make it towards, so I want the connection there as tight as possible because you don't want your earring coming, the main part of your earring coming off the ear wire. And you could, you know, with these long earrings, you could certainly use a post, some sort of post, ear post. I just can't make one of those right offhand. But all right, here we go. See, that's a little out of joint though. All right, where's my Sometimes it's easier to hold them if I stick it on an earring card. So you can see what they would look like. All right. Funky green earrings. All right. So, just a reminder, so we will be back on Thursday. We'll be making a wine or bottle marker. We will be using wire, we'll be using black, we'll be using teal or turquoise, and it will be inspired by a sunset, okay? And the other reminder is, if you're interested in the Copper Bunny set, they're available for $15. And if you want any more of the old bunnies, you get 3 bunnies, assorted colors. Here's some examples. You get these 3 sizes. For $20, and you get written instructions plus a link to the video. Okay, and there's still time to get those to you before Easter, so you can either go to my website, and I will, when I post the picture, it'll be in that link. Oh, I saw that, Janelle. No worries. The system, you know, reminds people, but I don't worry if people are late, you know. All right, let's put on our funky earrings and see what these look like. So, as I said, you know, the Copper Bunnies are limited edition. I have 8 more kits available. Here we go. Are those fun or not? Dominique, have you not seen my bunnies before? Yes. So like I said, you get the bunnies, the crystals, you get everything but the wire, and you do get written instructions to go with the rabbits. And for those of you that have ordered from me before, I know I had my old directions from when I was using different ears. I'm updating the directions to match what the crystals that are in the kit. So anyways, if anybody feels like they don't have enough bunnies yet, I do have them. And actually you can buy a single bunny. I usually do not sell the directions, but the video is out there. If you want just a single bunny, I think the small bunny, you know what, I'll have to look. It's on the website. I want to say the large bunny by itself is like 12, the medium bunny somewhere around 8, and I think the little bunny, I had to raise the price because my prices went up a little bit to 7 or something. So it is a deal if you get the whole kit of 3 bunnies, or even the kit of 2 bunnies. Is cheaper than buying a separate bunny. But if you do want a single bunny, it's probably best to work with me through the through Messenger, so that we can discuss what color bunny you want. All right, so because I do have some that, you know, I have a cute bunny, but it doesn't necessarily coordinate with the others, so I don't always put them in the kit. But anyways, let me know, and happy to work with you. So Dominic, thanks for joining me today, as well as Janelda and Marianica. As always, I appreciate all your support and you guys watching me. If you want to catch these videos after 30 days, they are available on YouTube. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, Desert Cat Creations, on YouTube, as well as like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. It's a free way to help me grow my business. If you guys do those subscriptions and those likes and follows, it gets me more visibility in the algorithms, so it's always good. And helpful, and it doesn't cost you a thing. Just means my videos might pop up in your feed more often, but you can choose to ignore them or you can watch them. So it's all good. So, all right. So we'll be back Thursday, noon Pacific, and we will be making our wine bottle marker. All right. So I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll probably see you guys around online in various forums that we all hang out in. If you're in one of those areas getting all the bad weather, stay safe, be careful out there. If you have some good weather, get out and enjoy it, because, you know, spring doesn't last long. And if you're like us here in Arizona, we're going to hit 100 next week, supposedly. So that's, yeah, we're diving right into summer. So hopefully it won't stay that way. But, and I will be posting some blooms. You know, I always like to share my cactus blooms with you guys. So you will start seeing some of those as things have started blooming here. So it's very exciting for me. And Janelda, I have little tiny buds on my Oregon pipe, my night bloomer. So I think it's thinking about blooming early this year. So that's interesting. So anyways, thanks again. We'll see you all on Thursday.